And observations for the Inspector General for the Judicial Department, because I'm a big fan of his and always enjoy when he comes before Congress. And then my friend from Oklahoma said something that caused me to kind of divert my thinking a little bit. And I want to, first of all, tell my friend from Oklahoma, thank you for your service to our country well before you ever came to Congress. You mentioned straw purchasers, and of course a straw purchaser is someone who purchases a firearm on behalf of someone who's been prohibited. And then that kind of got me thinking, well, I wonder how long the list of prohibited persons is. And I was wondering, from my friend from Oklahoma, it's already, I believe, against the law for persons who have been convicted of felons to purchase firearms and ammunition. Is that right?
Yes, it is illegal, and it is also illegal to make straw purchases. It comes with a 10-year minimum prison sentence.
You know what I found striking? There's actually a pretty long list of people who can't purchase firearms, any kind of firearm or ammunition. Those who use controlled substances, those who have been court-martialed, those that are not here legally, those that have overstayed visas, those that are subject to a restraining order and a domestic violence case, they already can't possess firearms, any kind of firearm. So that got me wondering, to my friend from Oklahoma, I wonder how this administration is doing enforcing the current laws that are on the books for all of those categories of prohibited persons. Does my friend know whether prosecutions are up or down over the last 8 years?
Actually, the prosecutions are down, sadly to say. The administration has not supported the Don't Lie for the Other Guy campaign, which the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and the FBI both support, as well as all responsible gun manufacturers and federal firearms licensees. This is a real problem, and the administration has not supported the efforts. It would go a long way if we saw a different policy.
And you know, I find that stunning. I guess I find it stunning at a logical level why you would ask for more tools when you are not using the tools that you currently have. And I would encourage all of my friends to look at the prosecution levels for 18 USC 922G crimes, firearms violations. Look at the level of prosecution for the last 8 years under this administration, and you will see that gun prosecutions have gone down. So I'm trying to figure out how another law that you're not going to enforce is going to make us safer. And to my friend from Oklahoma, I'm struggling to follow the logic.
Well, I would agree. In fact, with regard to the no-fly or list, they say if you're a terrorist, you shouldn't be able to buy a firearm. Newsflash, you can't. 400,000 are on the terror watch list. 97%, over 97% of those are foreigners. They are prohibited from purchasing firearms. You have to be a U.S. citizen or a permanent U.S. resident and 90 days in residence at your current address to even have a firearm transferred. Otherwise, it's denied. So there is a lot of bad information. Of the 3% that remains, a fraction of that ends up being on the no-fly list, and of that, it will trigger what they call a federal prohibitor, likely going to be denied or delayed at a minimum, and the FBI is notified for further investigation. This is tantamount to like saying, well, we need to stop murder. Why don't they make a law to stop murder? Newsflash, we have. People still are sinful and commit crimes.
Well, I'm pretty sure we have laws against narcotics trafficking too, and I have not noticed that going away, in part because of a porous border, but for other reasons as well. And in conclusion, to my friend from Oklahoma, I noticed the governor of Virginia it has begun a campaign to restore the rights of persons who have been convicted. It's a restoration of rights, and I guess if that's what Virginia wants to do, that's what Virginia can do. But I would hasten to add, those persons have already been afforded due process. They were convicted. They were either convicted by a jury of their peers, or they stood in front of a judge and admitted that there was proof beyond a reasonable doubt on every element of the crime. So they've already been afforded due process, and yet the governor of Virginia wants to restore their rights. And some of those same folks are now arguing to take away rights of folks who have had no due process whatsoever. Can the gentleman in Oklahoma help me understand that?
It is hard to fathom. I would think in cases where you have legitimate pardons by a governor and evidence has been brought to bear that obviously we would have constitutional rights restored. Apart from that, I think that is going down the wrong path. It's also worth noting that in our gun violence that we see in actual murders with firearms, they've decreased 9% since 2010. They've decreased 10% since 2005, 20% since 1995. Last year, the last statistical data year that we had, of the 8,124 murders committed with firearms, only 248 were done by rifles of any type. That was nearly half what it was for blunt force objects or clubs or things of that nature. Again, we have a lot of data that's being thrown out as inaccurate, but in the true communist textbook fashion, say it often enough and repeat it often enough, it becomes believed, and what is a lie becomes truth.
We will make America great again.